All right, Brian, we'll see you back here in a couple of minutes. Well, only on Fox tonight, it is a tragic story that continues to develop out of Inman in Spartanburg County. Another family speaking out tonight about the nightmare care home, Oak Ridge, and its mistreatment of their loved ones. Now, we have brought you this story since the beginning when 58-year-old Daryl Mast, the owner of Oak Ridge Community Care Home, was charged with exploitation and neglect of the patients he was supposed to be caring for.
Days after he was charged by the state attorney general's office, the home was shut down by DHEC and residents were evacuated from what officials say was a vermin-infested and dangerous situation. We are hearing from the son of Margaret Horn. Now, Margaret was a resident there at Oak Ridge. He says he wants answers to the question of how Mast and Oak Ridge were allowed to operate under these conditions for so long. Yeah, Fox Carolina's Matt Koufax continues his reporting on this facility. He's live in our newsroom tonight with more.
Cody, Tori, the story of Margaret Horn is absolutely heartbreaking. I spoke today with her son, Thomas, who told me she pleaded with him to be taken out of Oak Ridge multiple times, but because of finances, they didn't have other alternatives. Now, Thomas says his mom told him that she was put to work at the home, a practice the AG's office cited Mast for back in 2017, and something that former workers at the home have also told us Mast did to residents. Thomas also says he saw Margaret living in filthy conditions that no human being should ever have to endure. He says he wants justice for his mom.
My loved one in a facility, I'm trying to get somebody to actually open up their ears and listen before it's too late.
Thomas Horn says his mother Margaret was someone who would go out of her way to help another person, even if she didn't have the means to do it.
It did hurt to have her text me constantly and be like, I want out of here, help me get out.
He says hard times meant the family didn't have many other options. Margaret was placed into Oak Ridge Community Care Home, owned by 58-year-old Daryl Mast by DSS back in 2019.
From the amount of money she stated that she was paying, or she needed to pay, it did not look like a facility that met those requirements.
Right away, Thomas says he observed issues when he went to visit his mother.
It was a tiny room. I want to say it was a little bigger than 10 by 15, and those 3 beds in there, a tight living area. Like, you're literally 5 feet from the next person.
But that was only the beginning of the horror Thomas says Margaret described. In a 2 a.m. text, March 15, 2020, Margaret writes to her son, quote, I am up and sending this because of bed bugs crawling out of the wall in our room. I cannot live like this. DHEC records Fox Carolina obtained from the agency last week show the Oak Ridge Community Care Facility had at least 4 separate violations related to bed bugs, lice, and other vermin from 2020 to 2021. The department fined Oak Ridge Community Care thousands of dollars for the problem and told Daryl Mast to correct the issue each time. But Thomas says whatever action was taken didn't seem to work.
Every time I picked her up and dropped her off, I would comb through my car because I didn't trust it.
Thomas also says he was constantly concerned for his mother's health while she was at Oak Ridge, especially during the heavy periods of COVID-19.
I could walk in without a mask and they would not bat an eye. They did not say nothing to me, even during the pandemic. Facilities like that, and like many others, we're supposed to be on strict lockdown, no one in, no one out unless you work there.
Fox Carolina also obtained documents from DHEC, which show Daryl Mast and Oak Ridge failed to comply with numerous COVID safety protocols at least 3 separate times the agency went to investigate. Thomas says his mother passed in July 2021 from natural causes due to heart failure from pulmonary hypertension. She was on oxygen 24/7. DHEC cited Oak Ridge back in 2021 for not taking proper precautions against fire hazards in areas where oxygen was dispensed to residents. Although his mother's death was unrelated, Thomas says the fact that risks like that were already present makes him look back in anger.
It really grinded my gears, to say the least.
He says he was glad to see the home shut down last week, if not for his mom's benefit, for the benefit of others who deserve better.
My heart goes out to everybody else who had loved ones there. There was a lot of sweet and caring people that lived there at those facilities.
He says he wishes his mom was alive to escape the place she begged to get out of, but that he plans to fight to hold those he believes are responsible to account.
I do hope more people come forward, be like, hey, this is what he's done, this is what they've done.
Do you think that DHEC did enough?
Oh, no. Before you even finish that question, DHEC has not done enough. For my mom's sake, I kind of want to see justice for her. I just want to see justice done right and justice done properly.
Just such a heartbreaking story, and when you hear one like this, the biggest question, aside from how this facility kept operating, becomes At what point is an agency like DHEC legally obligated to let the authorities know about violations committed at a place like Oak Ridge, especially if those violations are serious and repeated? It's something we've asked DHEC and the AG's office about multiple times. We still have not gotten a straight answer to that question. In the newsroom tonight, Matt Koufax, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.
Now, another state agency involved in this investigation is the Appalachian Council of Governments. Now, they have been helping former patients at this facility. Now, their executive director was at Spartanburg County Council's meeting tonight. We did talk with him and asked him about what kind of policy, if any, requires other agencies to get involved in investigations like this one.
Depending on the specific situation that we find, if it's a law enforcement issue, we would refer to law enforcement. If it's a health and safety issue, we would refer to DHEC. If it's a issue that comes under Adult Protective Services, their purview would refer to them. So it really depends on what the individual case, what issue we might find as to whom that could potentially be referred to.
Now, we have put in several requests to learn more about the allegations against Oak Ridge Community Home Care, and we will update you as we get those answers.